I kept mentioning this during the week, Kel, that I thought Garth Hamilton's analysis in the Oz on Monday was excellent, in which he said the best thing about Peter Dutton was that he brought unity to the party, and the worst thing about Peter Dutton was that he brought unity to the party because they didn't have these policy duels that they needed to have to form something that would actually look like an electable government.
United in nothingness.
Yeah, correct. And I think the Nationals were trying to make some effort to pull them in that direction. But it was so unedifying. This whole episode has been so unedifying.
Exactly. And in fact, what it's done, I think it's shown us that the voters never get it wrong. Let me just explain. Go back to the election. It was a negative election. It was full of Australians who voted for nothing and no one, but voted against what they didn't really like, which is why there was the great flood of people going to the minor parties. And it's why, in deciding what to do with preferences with the major parties, it was all a case of, who am I going to vote against? I don't like either of them. The Labor have just taken us through 3 horrible years, but we dislike the Liberal Party and the Coalition even more. Their judgment was the Liberal National Coalition is not ready to govern. And what have they done this week? They've just shown us they're not ready to govern. The voters never get it wrong.
You can, I mean, your context in the Labor Party, Joe, I imagine, were jumping up and down this week. I mean, could you have asked for a better gift for the Prime Minister?
It is just absolutely just mind-boggling. I mean, it is, you know, again, there was one bad couple of days for Labor after the election when there was another factional brawl over Ed Husic and Mark Dreyfus being in the cabinet. And what did the Coalition do? Hold my beer. And just in they go and say, no, you think that's a brawl. You think that's disunity. Wait till you get a load of us. It is, I mean, Will is right. The Liberal Party is a broad church. It is divided unto itself. So the Liberal Party in and of itself is 2 different wings that cannot agree on pretty much anything. And then you've got the Nats on top of that. The worst possible thing that you could do in that scenario is let the public know how divided you are and the fact that you completely disagree with the other lot on the policy offering you're eventually going to put out. Whatever they put out now, people are going to know that it's bollocks or that it's subject to change or that the person saying it doesn't really believe in it.
I just couldn't disagree more, Joe.
Okay,
and I have to tell you why. Because
Net zero.
This unity notion is such a Labor notion.
Yes.
And actually having a discussion thoughtfully in public is a strength that people can value.
You cannot
so there is.
You think this was a good week?
No. This was not a good week, but this is because, I mean, the situation is quite right, Will, where we're at. The Libs don't know what they're for. And the reason for that is after 2007, they never had that discussion. And then election after election after that, it's been papered over by power struggles between the moderates and the right in the Liberal Party. Now, finally, things have blown up so badly that they need to have this discussion. And it's going to happen in public one way or another. This week was terrible because of the Nats stuffing around with who can be in charge. But actually, this philosophical discussion that is going to be had is a potential positive if it's carried out.
I don't see.
I agree. I agree.
But you need to have 2 philosophies to bring to the table, and they don't have that.
Well,
there is a lane for a third party in Australia, a la Reform, because the Liberal Party are doing exactly what the Conservatives have done in the UK and have failed over year after year. And we now have the opportunity to go, well, is the Liberal Party past its use by date?
And you see, that relies on all these other disparate mobs actually knocking their heads together as well, which has never happened and probably never will, so they'll blow that one up the wall as well. And of course, it's raised the question, of course, about whether David Littleproud can keep his leadership of the Nationals Party, because he fended off Matt Canavan only a few days ago. Littleproud spoke about that today.
I'm pretty relaxed. You see, since I've been leader, I've been prepared to take the tough decisions. First one to make the decision on the voice, on divestiture, on nuclear, on the RAF, and I led a party that backed those decisions to say that we're not going to walk away from them into the future.
I mean, he talks about being relaxed. I'll tell you someone who looked really relaxed during the week, and that was Anthony Albanese. He came back from the Pope's inauguration in Indonesia, and I have never seen the Prime Minister look more relaxed and comfortable than I saw him this week. And can you blame him?